Newspapers. This morning is always such good fun when we have a Business Day editor-at-large, Hilary Joffe, joining us, not on Zoom. I love the fact we have you here.
Right?
It's so nice. It really is. Can we talk a little bit about what is happening on the front page of your newspaper this morning? What have you got?
We've led on alleged collusion between Toyota Financial Services and Westbank.
It's a competition commission story.
It's a competition commission story. The competition commission has been quite aggressive going after cases of alleged collusion. It's the prosecutor in this case, so it doesn't mean the case is proven. It goes now to the tribunal for judgment, to be heard. It's an interesting case because one is a joint venture. They have a common shareholder, if you like. So I think it'll be an interesting one. Companies sometimes settle, but I wonder if this one will try and go to the full public hearings. My worry about all of these cases, in a way, is that the Competition Commission is out there prosecuting collusion, but are we getting a more competitive economy that allows more small businesses to participate? No. So clearly something else needs to be done, not just prosecuting.
What is the effect of these convictions and judgments when they come out? We actually had the Competition Commission on earlier to actually talk about it, and as well, you're right, they're not holding back on anything here, especially because you're looking at big names like Westbank, like Toyota, etc. as well. So that's going to be fascinating to follow. I'm actually glad you picked up on that in your paper.
Absolutely, but equally fascinating is, of course, hearing from Professor Shabir Madhi here, looking into, or rather calling for more of a review of the COVID regulations.
Yeah, he's such a maverick, Professor Mahdi, but really he's written us an op-ed piece, which is a little bit technical but really interesting. I mean, the bad news is that it seems like just about all of us had COVID in some form despite restrictions, which is why he's saying that the restrictions have not proven that effective, harsh as they were in the early days. The good news is that we've mostly all had it, and if you combine having had it with a vaccine, your chances are really good, which he's saying is what we're really seeing now in Omicron, that a high proportion have got some kind of immunity, and especially this hybrid immunity from being vaccinated and having been infected. He's saying at this point, he concedes that maybe in the very early days some of the lockdown restrictions might have been justified. He said, no, they really are not justified, and we need to review them going forward. It's certainly the case that as a country we had one of the harshest economic declines. And I think we did some very good things, but we did some pretty mad things.
Well, I suppose we'll hear from the Health Minister as well, right? Dr. Joe Pike expected to take on that briefing at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's one of those hindsight is 2020. We're going to, at the time, I think many of us didn't understand some of the restrictions in place, even in hindsight. With it being 2020, some of them were just ridiculous. You even look back and go, why could I not buy slops?
Yeah, I know you went the beaches.
Summer?
You didn't understand the beach one as well.
Yeah.
But we also forget how incredibly anxious and how little we knew at that point.
Yeah. Can we close off with the Mail and Guardian? Because I just want to get your thoughts on, and we'll bring it up for you. Our failing state, the Mail and Guardian going hammer and tongs on this one. They're calling it Our Failing State, a great front page from them there. It's page 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 and 20. So they're covering it all in M&G. So, failing state of nation?
State of the Nation by the President next Thursday, coming up. Ought to be a big event, ought to outline a vision for where we're going. I suspect that he is going to take stock and tell us that he's done a lot of reforming in the year, and that in a way would be true. I look at the economics of it. There are some economic reforms that have started to come through, but at a rate which is not even close to what we need, and there's still such resistance and blockages within the system. And if you look at, I looked at last year's State of the Nation and this year's. Last year unemployment was a horrifying 30%. This year it's an absolutely eye-watering 35%. So there is, he's got a lot of work to do, and he needs to move a lot faster, and we'll be looking to him on Thursday to see for signs. Is he going to do that?
Yeah, it's, the unemployment rate, I think, at the moment is what the stuff of nightmares is made up of as well. Hilary, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us this morning. Business Day editor-at-large, Hilary Joffe, joining us here on the South African Morning. Always good to have Hilary with us. All right, here's what's coming up.